Hey folks, I'm Eleanor. This is my Kitten Reads. Welcome back. You'll have noticed that my posting of videos has been a bit sketchy the last month or so. I've been in a bit of a bookish slump. I've been reading a lot of fan fiction, but not much else except for uni books. In fact, I've just today finished 3 weeks worth of leave. I go back to work on Monday and I didn't do much at all. I read a lot of fan fiction. I watched a lot of Hawaii Five-0, which after taking 7 years to watch the first series, I'm now in series 6 after a few weeks. So I've done a lot of that. And I did my essay for my final Gothic Lit essay. But apart from that, until the last couple of days, I haven't read much in the way of actual books. I had such a big month in April, and then I just went into a bit of a slump in May. And like I said, just really school books. So this is a bit of a bookish update. And Friday reads, I guess. So in May, I finished 2 books. One which was a reread, and DNF'd another one, and all 3 were for uni. So I unfortunately DNF'd Jamaica by Daphne du Maurier. There weren't, I say unfortunately because it was one of the few books that was by a woman in my set of class texts, and so I was kind of looking forward to it, but I got that far through and just noped out of it. Not for any particular reason, except for the fact that right from the very first page, I just had this overwhelming feeling of dread because of, I think, the descriptions of the landscape and the people, which were very, very gothic, but also I was like, there's nothing good coming from this. Nothing good coming from this. So, and I couldn't make myself read any further, unfortunately. So, yeah, DNF'd Daphne du Maurier. I did, actually no, both of the other books were rereads. I reread Dracula for class, which I read years ago, probably my late teens, early 20s. I can't exactly remember, but like a decade ago. And I didn't like it. And then I reread it for class and I loved it. It's amazing the difference a decade more maturity can make sometimes with some of these books. It's not the first time that's happened to me, but yeah, no, I fell in love with the character of Mina Murray Harker. Absolutely, completely. I think she's one of my favourite Gothic heroines because frankly, they couldn't, she's surrounded by 5 men, yet they couldn't have defeated Dracula without her. She was practical and sensible and brave, and I just really, really liked it. So that was unexpected. But yeah, I really enjoyed Dracula this time around. So that was really good. And I also reread, not this whole volume, but The Hound of the Baskervilles by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, which is not my favourite of the Sherlock Holmes novels. Believe it or not, I know it's a lot of people's favourites and there's a lot of adaptations of it. I'm not actually all that fond of it. So, it's a Sherlock Holmes, it's kind of interesting. But yeah, so, like I said, that was very read as well. So yeah, that's all that I actually read in May. I acquired a few things. I can't remember if it was April or May where I acquired I don't think I've done a book haul in a while. I bought a lot of audiobooks for rereading purposes in April, and I also picked up an ebook copy of what's it called? Space Opera by Valente. Which I am in the middle of. I've started a lot of books, but haven't actually got very far in them. But this is her, basically Eurovision in space. Earth is fighting for its survival in a singing competition. Yeah, it's totally my thing. I just haven't been able to concentrate on it. But so I picked up the ebook for that. In terms of physical books that I've picked up recently, I have an autographed copy of The Beast's Heart by Leife Shallcross. I know Leife, she's a local Canberra author, and she's very heavily involved in both the Australian Fairy Tale Society and the local convention Conflux. She's been the chair of the board the last few years, I think, or co-chair. But this is her first novel, her debut novel. I haven't picked it up yet, but look at the gorgeous cover. It's so beautiful. But yeah, so this is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast from the Beast's perspective. So it's called The Beast's Heart. And yeah, I don't know much more about it, but I am really looking forward to picking that up and seeing what Leif's done with this particular fairy tale. So that's great. And the rest that I've bought is basically graphic novels. I went on a binge back in May, I think. I haven't actually read any of them yet, but I have volume 4 of Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon by Naoko Takeuchi. So that's the Sailor Moon volume that I am up to. So I'm looking forward to picking that up. I was basically I think I went into the store and just checked for all my ongoing series and to see if there was new volumes to pick up, which I knew for some there was because I'm behind, but I have Lumberjanes, Out of Time, which is volume 4. So that's my next to read issue of Lumberjanes by Noelle Stevenson. You know me, I love the Lumberjanes, so hopefully I'll pick up that soon. And I picked up volume 4, so all of them are volume 4s of The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. So this is I Kissed a Squirrel and I liked it. And I find Squirrel Girl just freaking hilarious. So that's what I've acquired sort of in May-ish and April. But yeah, like I said, I've not been reading much, but today I've actually managed to do some work, do some reading. I decided yesterday that in order to kick myself out of fan fiction and into novels again, I was going to reread my favourite trilogy of Jane Austen variations. So I have been reading volumes 1, 2 and 3 of A Tapestry of Lives by Jean Sims. And today I also finally managed to get around to starting some Hugo reading. So I downloaded the Hugo packet yesterday. And so I've started on the short stories category and I read 3 of them so far today, and I might read the other 2 that I haven't read yet before the day is over. So that's my Friday reads. So that's kind of where I'm at reading wise. Yeah, hopefully videos are going to be a lot more regular from now on. Like I said, I go back to work on Monday, which means I can hopefully get back to my usual schedule, and hoping to be reading more. I'm sort of petering out on my Hawaii 5-0. I'm in the sort of the early stages of season 6, but I'm sort of losing a bit of impetus. So yeah, that's where I am reading wise at the moment. Thankfully I'm not behind on my Goodreads challenge numbers because April was such a huge month, but I am not entirely sure where I'm at with my other challenges so far. So yeah, let me know what you guys are reading. Let me know if you've read anything that I've talked about. Particularly interested, I think, in people's opinions of Dracula, since my own opinions have gone such a 180. Like seriously, I was dreading rereading it for class and I absolutely loved it. So yeah, and I will see you all again soon. I promise. Bye.